Welcome. How is everybody doing? Seems a bit clear today. So, greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the special launch of the Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign. As always, I'm excited about it. You know, the speed of innovation in Africa is a bit slow, even though there is a lot of noise, a lot of noise about innovation, about genius. But it is it's translating to actionable impacts that counts, not the tabloids. Uh, for me, I've been a huge advocate of real-time innovation, right? And I've tried my best, I've done my best in the human capacity area of development and impact, right? And I'm still there, I'll always be there. But, I decided that what's important is important. And the most important things needs to be given the most important attention, and that's the reason for this launch. Type hashtag ECLC in the comment section. Type energy consumption literacy campaign. Let me see who will type it in the comment section. Type energy consumption literacy campaign in the comment section. Tell us where you're joining from. Right? Um, one of the major problems that we are faced with in Nigeria and across the continent is incessant power supply, electricity supply, electric power. And it's disappointing that we have a lot of brilliant minds, genius minds in Africa, and Nigeria, that is the most populous black nation on the planet, is still struggling to supply even 12%, I'm sorry, even 12-hour per day electricity. So at least 60% of its population. Maybe it's a deliberate thing, maybe it's a deliberate sabotage, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars have been spent on power. And, we're still in darkness, right? Um, right now, my generator is on. Yeah, even though in the past, 24, 48 hours, seems there's been some kind of little improvements in the public power supply. But you see, what we want to do with this campaign is holistic. I'm sure all of you know that I'm the I'm the biggest advocate of holism on, on social media. Right? It is actually holistic. Um, our objective is to position this campaign as a holistic response to the multifaceted problems of the power sector, the energy sector. You know, we are shifting the paradigm. We want to shift the paradigm with this campaign. We want to enlighten a lot of energy consumers. The truth is, I've been super interested in energy since I was a child. That's just the truth. I've been playing with electronics, electricity since I was a child, long before I clocked 10. And even when I was planning to go to the university, all that I wanted to go study was electrical electronics engineering, even though I didn't eventually study. Eventually it was mining engineering I studied, right? Um, I feel that it's the right time, it's ripe for us to initiate this campaign. It is called Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign. Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign. Kindly stay with us if you are a visionary person, if you are an executive, if you are a company owner, if you're an entrepreneur. Kindly stay with us. I see people jumping in and jumping off on TikTok. I don't know. Kindly stay with us because I have some important information to share. This is the launch of the ECLC, the Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign. It is more or less like an unusual concept because in Nigeria we are not super pumped about tracking energy, tracking our energy consumption. Yes, there is a meter, and of course, most of the time those meters are not even accurate or tampered with, right? Uh, so this campaign is going to remove uh, blind spots, right? We want to move the populace from being passive consumers of energy to active managers of our power future. That is what the Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign is all about. Kindly, power tap your screen and invite your friends, invite your colleagues, invite your family members. We'd like to have a fuller house. This is a launch. We'd like to have a fuller house, and also kindly stay with us if you're here. The Energy Consumption Literacy Campaign is not just an advocacy project. Okay, it is a diagnostic and corrective framework that is designed to turn power from a volatile expense into a stable, optimized operational asset. Like I said, I've been fascinated by electric power since I was a child. And as I researched into it over the past 2.5 decades, it fascinated me more. And it got to a point where I started wondering why that this magical invention, how that we are not optimizing it for rapidified um, advancement. You know, with this campaign, we are kicking off what we are calling Energy Audit Tour. Kindly power tap your screen and share the light. Invite your friends. Energy Audit Tour. I am confident that is the first thing that we need to pay attention to. More than 95% of Nigerians don't have a way of succinctly measuring their energy consumption. And beyond that, or aside that, they don't also know where the energy is going to, specifically how the consumption gets to happen. The different appliances, machineries, and equipment that are either consuming those those energy supply, or wasting it. A lot of efficiency will ensue on the back of this campaign, right? The energy auditor is going to be a data-driven diagnostics, right? The problem we want to solve with that is the blind consumption that most organizations and households um, are in, right? Everybody pays for energy without knowing how it is lost or where it is wasted. Within a couple of years, within a couple of decades, all of that is going to be improved upon, right? We are, going to be deploying field experts to conduct deep dive audits, deep dive energy audits, right? And we're not just going to be looking at bills. Bills is nothing really. The energy bills is nothing. That's just the mechanism for, the mechanism the energy companies utilizes for collection of, their dues of the bills, right? We are going to look at, the load profiles. We're going to look at the phantom power usage. We're going to look at the system the system inefficiencies, so that we can provide a clear picture of their energy footprint, right? So we are kicking off the energy audit tour this month. Uh, we are going to be, like I said in the post that I made, the announcement post I made, I think last week. We're starting with the Lekki Ekpe corridor first. Then we'll move from here to the mainland, right? You know, uh, Ikorodu Road into Ikeja, and then other parts of Lagos. And then once we have covered Lagos, uh, maybe like 60% of Lagos, we'll now start moving to other states. So the energy audit tour is going to be the first phase of this campaign. If you are a company owner, you own a company, right? You own a shopping complex, you own a mall, you own a plaza, along the Lekki Ekpe corridor. Reach out to us, send us an email so that we can pay you a visit. We want to come run an energy audit on your facility, right? We want to help you um, cut out every loophole in your energy expenses. That is exactly what this audit is going to do for you, right? We are also going to be recommending alternative power transitions on the, based on the, the reports that we're going to be given, because we're going to be given an energy consumption report, right? After we have carried out an energy audit on a facility, um, in a few days, we're going to be sending the energy consumption reports, right? But in the course of our relationship with, the facilities, the owners of the facilities, or the facility managers or whoever. We're also going to be on the basis of what we saw, on the basis of the energy uh, equipment and infrastructure that they have. If we have to suggest something that is alternative, more durable, cost effective, we are going to do just that because we are in partnership with certain organizations, certain manufacturing organizations who have engineered innovative solutions to some of these problems, right? The problem of the alternative power transmission that we are going to be solving, one of them is dependency on inefficiency, dependency on inefficient, fossil heavy, or grid unstable sources. This year alone, we can't count how many times we've said that the grid collapsed. Right? We're going to be offering alternative sources. Right? We will offer immediate and scalable smart grid integration, cost effective. That would it will have the Internet of Things enabled metering, right? And this will allow real-time load shedding and usage tracking. You've heard of scenarios where they said, fire just started somewhere in a particular building and, they couldn't stop the fire. They didn't even know the source of the fire. A lot of times it is undetected, malfunctioned electrical appliances, right? So there will be IoT enabled metering to allow for real-time load shedding. It's part of the alternative solutions we're going to be offering. We're going to be suggesting, right? And also part of the alternative solutions we're going to be suggesting will be commercial hybrid inverters, right? Commercial hybrid inverters, high efficiency, modular power solutions that pair solar harvest with grid intelligence. Okay, um, you know, this is something that every facility needs. You and there is no real energy literacy with most people. Most people are not energy literate, even at basic levels. That should stop, and that's one of the reasons why you know um, disco companies can just be milking us, and we won't know exactly how to challenge them because we're not energy literate. One of the things that the this energy consumption literacy campaign is going to do for Nigerians and Africans is to eventually turn them into energy literates, right? And like I said earlier, the there will be an energy consumption report uh, at the end of every energy audit. Every facility that we run an energy audit on, we would offer them energy consumption report, right? And this the audit will contain proprietary energy consumption data, usable data, data that can guide their next line of action, right? And it is not going to be a generic report. It will provide financial impact analysis. I know that some of the things I'm saying might sound like jargons, but I'm just trying to break it down. Uh, it will outline exactly where you are losing capital. It will outline the ROI of recommended upgrades, right? And the projected timeline for total cost recovery. Whatever new cost you expend on the transition to an alternative source, you are also going to know what the timeline, the projected timeline for recovering your investment back. That is part of what the energy consumption report is going to offer, the people that we get to run the energy audit on. How you doing? All right. Also, we are introducing the energy club. We're introducing the energy club. Um, this the energy club is going to be about collaborative intelligence around the subject of energy, right? It is going to be a curated ecosystem, for C-suite leaders, for entrepreneurs, for company owners, for facility managers, for household heads, right? So, the energy club is definitely going to, um, you know, serve as an ecosystem for energy literacy curation, energy literacy cultivation, right? We're going to be providing access to shared procurement power, access to regulatory updates on energy policy, you know, access to peer-to-peer benchmarking, right? We're not just going to, it's not just going to be about equipment. It's it's real holistic understanding of the energy phenomenon, right? We're going to be given, you a network to sustain long-term efficiency. So everyone who subscribes to the energy audits, everyone who invites us to come run the energy audits on their facilities, they would automatically, become members of the energy club. They will be granted access to the energy club, right? So, this campaign is not child's play, right? Already we have invested a lot into it, and what we are here to invest is way more than what we have invested, right? So we know that if the problem of energy, electric energy, is solved, then it will create a quantum leap of progress that is multifaceted across boards, across industries, right? And that is why my company, Show Ambassador Global Limited, is taking up this challenge. And at different juncture of this campaign, we're going to have data that we are going to be sharing with the right authorities, with the right entities, with the right players, right? Data that even investors can leverage for the introduction of energy generation, energy distribution, energy supply um, innovations, right? This through this campaign, we are going to be attempting to solve systemic power challenges. Everybody knows that data is very powerful, right? But 99% of African entrepreneurs do not have any kind of energy data. They don't. And that's why they are not able to leverage such data, positively, right? We're going to be attempting to solve systemic power challenges. We will help with things like the reduction of maintenance overhead for facilities, for buildings, for malls, shopping plazas, supermarkets, um, large buildings, auditoriums, will help to reduce maintenance overhead, right? Uh, we will take most facilities from reactive hardware management to proactive hardware management because of the IoT enabled functionality, right? Um, you know, we would help them improve on their sustainability compliance, right? Helping a lot of these organizations, a lot of these companies to meet green energy standards in order to, in turn, improve, corporate social responsibility ratings, right? So, the energy consumption literacy campaign is something that is like a reborn passion that has now been added to the archives of passion that I now have, right? Um, if you know any company owner in Lagos, if you know anyone who owns a warehouse or a plaza or a shopping mall or a large, please introduce them to us. And you have real estate properties that has some um, size, large size electric facilities, electric supply facilities. Please send us an email. We would like to have you come on board this energy audit tour. The first couple of companies, we're going to be doing it for free. So, the first set of companies that reaches out, we're going to do audit for them for free. Actually, the first 5 companies, we're going to be doing the audit for the first 5 companies for free, right? Normally, the audit is costing 150,000 naira per audit, but we're going to be doing it for free for the first 5 companies, for the first 5 facilities. So if you're a company owner, a facility owner in Lagos, reach out. We have an email, ECLC at yourambassadorglobal.com. That's the email to reach out to, or the WhatsApp number 08035785964. Right? Most executives often treat energy as an unavoidable operational expense, right? But what we want to do is to reclassify it as a strategic asset. Energy is a strategic asset. See, a lot of people are going to wish that something like this was started long before now. A lot of people are going to wish because it will literally save them a lot of costs, millions of naira. Right? We have done all of the homework, all of the calculations, all of the experiments, right? And is going to save millions of businesses a lot of costs, right? When you control your power quality and consumption, you insulate your company from market volatility, right? You insulate your company from not just market volatility, you also insulate your company from grid instability. And you also insulate your company from hidden cost of downtime, right? We will take company owners from operational expense to competitive advantage when it comes to their energy consumption, right? So, I don't know, are there company owners on this live? If you're a company owner on this live, I would like to, you know, have a conversation with you. This is the official launch. I'd like to have a conversation with you if you are. If you know a company owner in Lagos, uh, I'd like to have a conversation with you still. Now, we are, for now, we are deploying three major strategies, right? The first is financial resilience, right? You know what we have termed the waste to capital strategy. You know that what you don't know is bigger than you. What you don't know can put you in danger. What you don't know can cost you a lot. See, I know people who they were they thought they were doing well in business, generated millions of naira, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and eventually they went under. Some of the reasons that a lot of businesses that have generated a great deal of revenue goes under is because of some hidden costs that they are not actively paying attention to. And energy is one of those hidden costs, right? So we have coined the term the waste to capital strategy, where we are going to block every loophole, every energy waste loophole, right? And that's about, financial resilience. We will look at hidden inefficiencies and we would remove those inefficiencies. Our energy audits identifies these leakages and will correct them because the reports that we are going to be giving to every company that we run the energy audit by will show them in specific terms, in clear terms, the exact things that they need to do to block all those leakages, right? And to help them effectively reclaim some capital back, right? So financial resilience is the first strategy. The second strategy is operational continuity, right? And this is a mission critical strategy. The reason, like I said a few minutes ago, that companies go under is partly or majorly because of hidden inefficiencies that is costing them tons and tons of funds, tons and tons of money, right? Most companies um, only have in place reactive power management. It's always reactionary, and this always leads to downtime, which of course disrupts, supply chains and erodes customer trust, right? We're going to help them re-architect their infrastructure. We'll help them re-architect their infrastructure from a reactive state to a predictive one. These things have already been done in other clients, in China, in Saudi Arabia, in Japan, in UAE. These things they are not rocket science. They're not some kind of innovation that my company is trying to come up with for the first time. No, these things already exist and they've existed for decades, right? So, operational continuity is the second strategic focus. And then the third one is regulatory and ESG positioning. ESG is environmental, social, and governance requirements, right? Global standards and local stakeholders are increasingly demanding transparency in energy sourcing. Our campaign provides the documentation and the green pathway. That is part of what our campaign will provide for corporate organizations. The green pathway necessary to meet the ESG requirements, right? The green pathway responsible or necessary for positioning these organizations as leaders in sustainability rather than just a participant in a crisis, in an energy crisis. Most companies are at the mercy of whatever it is that is happening right now in the energy sector. We need to shift from being at the mercy. We are entrepreneurs, for crying out loud. How can entrepreneurs be at the mercy of the government or at the mercy of those who are playing kissers to the government? We are entrepreneurs, for crying out loud. Power is something that we should be able to fix. It is no longer rocket science. It is decades away from it being rocket science. To think that I've been fascinated by this for decades is actually very, very preposterous. That I'm not taking it seriously now at 41 years old. It's actually preposterous, but better late than never. Energy is something that a lot of people have painted with the handwriting of complexity and complications. Our job is to uncomplicate it. There is nothing complicated about it. There is absolutely nothing complicated about energy supply. Nothing complicated about it, right? And then so we are committed to this. If you know company owners in Lagos, if you're a company owner, you work in a company in Lagos, starting with the Lekki Ekpe corridor, you work in a company in Ibeju-Lekki, in Etiosa local government, in Aja, in VGC, you live in VGC, Chevron, Lekki Phase 1, VI, Ikoyi, Ibrahim Adesanya, you live along that corridor, Bogije, Lakwe, Awoyaya, Eleko, Ekpe, you live along that corridor or you walk along that corridor, kindly please reach out. I would like to have a conversation with you because our team are ready to start visiting corporate organizations, visiting these facilities to carry out these energy audits on those facilities, right? So, like I said, the first 5 people to reach out to us will have the energy audit done for them for free. Okay, just the first 5, right? So, if you're going to be one of the first 5, then congratulations in advance. Send an email to ECLC@ambassadorglobal.com, and then my team would reach out to you, and then we'll be able to set an appointment to pay you a visit, to pay your facility a visit, right? So, I mean, there is a lot involved in this. I would once, this is something that we are going to be every first day of the month. We'll come to, give feedback, and we will be sharing the data about our progress every first day of the month. And, the people and the companies that we've been able to work with every month, the companies and the facilities we've been able to run our diagnostics on energy audits, diagnostics on. We'll be able to talk about some of those experiences, share some of those experiences to encourage other companies to reach out, right? So that's there you have it. We have now officially launched the energy consumption literacy campaign. We're going to be in different places as we move into the future. We're going to come on different platforms. You're going to see what we are doing on different platforms, and we would encourage you to support us. This is for the collective good of every one of us. This is something that will enhance our development as a nation, as a people, as businesses, as organizations, as families. This is definitely going to enhance the speed of development across board, right? I don't know if is does anybody have any question? Does anybody is anybody interested in coming up? If you're interested in coming up, I can bring you up. Let me know if you have any question. Does anybody have any question? Did these people send a request or was a mistake? Not sure they sent it. Not even sure the person is here. So yeah, so that's the launch. We have now officially launched it. And we are now going to be visiting organizations, companies, and uh, you know, establishing a relationship with them on the basis of this energy consumption literacy campaign. So I was expecting that they were going to have one or two questions, but it's okay. I mean, this is not a typical subject, so it's understandable. Uh, in the absence of questions, I'm going to be ending this live. On Sunday, I'm going to be live for the Sunday business lessons, 7 p.m. Have a date with me. On the 6th of this month, I'm going to be live to promote, our new club, Club 900, an elite club of folks who are looking for the ecosystem that they can leverage for taking their wealth building game to the next level, right? So, um, have a date with us tomorrow on Instagram. I'm gonna be hosting some ladies and a gentleman on our IG Live program called Conversations with CEOs, right? So have a date with us, 7 p.m. Nigerian time on Instagram. We'll do a deep dive into business building, challenges that you face in business, how you scale those challenges, and things of that nature, right? So yeah, thank you everybody who joined. I appreciate you. When you see my notification, you know, join us and let's have a beautiful time, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some of you who are company owners that I know who are in Lagos, I'm going to be in your DM, right? And for those of you who I don't know personally, your company owners, you know company owners, tell them about this campaign. and would love to meet with them. Right? Thank you guys, and have for those of you in Africa, those of you in Europe, for those of you in the Middle East, have a beautiful night rest as you go to bed tonight. And for those of you in North America, in Australia, uh, enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you in my next live. Take care.